I made this clear. I said Kebbi is the headquarters of Banditry and Katsina. The bandits are Hausa-Fulanis and they are Muslims. Their victims are Hausa-Fulanis and they are Muslims. Therefore, you can't read religious motive into it.
Yeah, but I think the point I was making was that you were talking about how President Buhari had managed to recover a lot of territory back from
from Boko Haram.
But then he'd lost a lot of territory as well.
Absolutely. That's why I told that the issue of banditry is quite different from Boko Haram.
Right.
You see, Boko Haram is religious, is religiously inspired. Banditry is about resources.
It's materially inspired.
Exactly. It's about resources. It's about material, about resources, yes. And of course, even when we put up that argument about, desert encroachment, climate change, they all work to help not just banditry, even farmers' elders clashes. But the important thing is that a government has a responsibility and you would do your best to ensure that you secure the lives and properties of the citizens. And this he did to his own ability also, to his best of his ability. I still stand by it. Nobody ever said nobody died during the NSAS. No, people died even in Abuja. They died in Lagos. They died in Kano. But what we are saying is that CNN was not at the toll gate. CNN relied on second-hand, third-hand information as if we were there. And my argument and logic was very simple. If a man has a goat and the goat does not come home one night, he will go out and look for that goat. Now, 5 years on today, nobody has come to tell us that my son or my ward went to the toll gate and come back. We never said there was no. People died in Adimosho. People died, many places during the NSAS. As a matter of fact, 37 policemen were killed. 6 soldiers were killed. It's what we kept making that, listen, NSAS was unfortunate, it was tragic, but that was a massacre at the toll gate is fake news.
Well, the jury is out on that one.
Absolutely.
So let's move on from there. You are, of course, listening to you now buttresses that point, a seasoned communicator. How difficult, because again, I'm not meaning to sort of harp on about it, but you talked about difficult moments. How did you balance crisis management, such as what you were talking about, and public enlightenment during your tenure? Because, crisis management was required at times of sort of the NSAS protest, because that was a huge, it was a huge moment in this country's history, and it portrayed the administration in a very, very bad light, didn't it, internationally?
You see, one of the jobs of a communicator, one of the biggest challenges of a communicator is how do you prevent fake news and misinformation from overshadowing the real facts.
But I would also imagine, how do you prevent government overbearingness over what potentially is news that is important for the public in the country?
You see, for a government, the national interest, it's the overriding interest. And no government, no person will set out to have a bad government or set out to stifle the freedom of people. And for 8 years, I was on the beat. And for 8 years, I tried to communicate government to the people, get a feedback from them, and also take that feedback to government. And we did it in many forms. We organized town hall meetings, which you're going to find in this book. town hall meetings were unique because this was a platform where policymakers spoke to the government and the government spoke back to them. I, as a minister, I used to meet every fortnight with bureau chiefs so I could carry them along. As minister, we were meeting every month. Myself, Karupe Shehu, Femi Adesina, were meeting with the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Police Affairs, Chief of Army Staff, and we're inviting title editors. And we're discussing issues that were not meant for publication, so we could build confidence. And they saw what many people did not see. See, I have had the unique opportunity of having been a spokesperson for the opposition for 10 years. I'm back-to-back Minister of Information for 8 years. And I know the difference. So that's what was easy for me to handle the portfolio of government information, because I've been out there. I've been on the other side where the media is.
And you were driven largely by, as you said, the national interest?
I was largely driven by national interest. I was driven by passion.
Was it national interest or self-preservation of an administration? Because there's a very thin line between the two, where the impression is always given that it's national interest.
Honestly, Charles, when you are out there, you hardly ever think about self-preservation. Small fact,
I would have thought that would be preeminent.
No, as a matter of fact, towards the last 2 years of my office minister, I couldn't wait for it to last. I couldn't wait for it to end. No, and when you talk about self-preservation, against who? The minister, you always know that there's an end to a tenure. And when you leave, the people will see where the dead bodies are buried.